from one of the bad times, and it's called Criminal. Take a breath like a criminal and try to meet your eye. I'm a dead man buying time. Look at me like a winnower for truth among the lies. You left your question dangling naked in the sky. But anyone can talk, it's easy to do. You talk of love, but can you give me proof? Come at me like a cannonball aimed right between the eyes. I'd turn the person on fire, and I feel like a silhouette caught stealing from the light. You push me up against the wall and ask me what's inside. Well, anyone can talk, it's easy to do. Anyone would say we're lost sometimes. Anyone would say we're lost sometimes. Take a pull on a cigarette and walk into the night. I turn to salt if I look back, and I feel like a widower who's burying his wife. Do you moan when she's the one who's dressing you in black? Well, anyone can talk, it's easy to do. Anyone would say we're lost sometimes. Anyone would say we're lost sometimes. Anyone would say we're lost sometimes. Sometimes. Thank you all. I promised an upper song. So I'll play an upper song about my opas and omas. Everybody has grandparents, either opas and omas, or if you're Frisian, pakas and bepas, or no-nos and no-nas. Is it? I'm not sure. I have some Italian friends, but they're Canadian Italian, so maybe their words are a little bit corrupted. Is it no-no?
Yeah, nonna.
No. Okay. This is a song. I have opas and omas back in Canada. Both of my parents were born here in the Netherlands, and they immigrated to Canada in the 50s when they were little children. Separately, they weren't married yet. They don't have a child. They didn't have child marriage here back then, as far as I know. Maybe in Krafthorst or something they do, or Staphorst. That's a really old
Staphorst.
But so they immigrated to Canada in the 50s as kids with their parents. And so my opas and omas are almost 90 years old now, so they're pretty old.
they're still lovely people. They still like to have a good time. They beat me at cards whenever I play cards with them. They're actually still pretty good at Scrabble too. But since they immigrated in the 50s, sometimes they still live like it's the 1950s. I think it's kind of a common occurrence with immigrant cultures. If you leave at a certain time, you kind of get frozen in time. The Dutch that they speak is from the 1950s, and their politics and views on religion and families are still a little bit from the 50s. And I find that really charming sometimes. But other times I find it the opposite of charming, not so charming, a little bit old-fashioned. So I thought, because I only ever knew my opas and omas as old people, and so I thought that they were always old and old-fashioned and a little bit stiff and wooden. Until a couple of years ago I saw these old family movies, silent Super 8 films from the early 60s, when my mother's father, my opa Kaminga of Friesland, he had his sisters come for a visit, his two sisters, and then all of his brothers lived in Canada, and they hadn't seen each other, the sisters and brothers hadn't seen each other for 10 or 12 years. So of course they had to have a very big party, and they were caught on film with this party, and they were drinking booze and smoking cigarettes and playing guitar and singing and dancing and cavorting like a bunch of very young, enthusiastic people that I'd never seen before. And it kind of blew me away. I thought, pot for Dory, these people used to be just like me. And it's true, they were young. I realized, of course, that my opas and omas did used to be young people, and they just got old one day at a time. And it's the same for me. I'm getting older one day at a time, and eventually, if I make it long enough, I'll be almost 90 years old, and I'll be good at Scrabble, and I'll like to eat overcooked potatoes. So I wrote this song for my opas and omas. And I should let you know, I have a campaign to make my opas and omas famous. So this is actually the title track of my new record. So if you like, for 10 euros at the end of the night, you can take my opas and omas home with you. They'll overcook your potatoes. So this song is called Color Film.
I saw you on a Super 8, laughing in the midst of your family. I saw you on a color film from 1963. And I saw you and your sister smile, swinging with your cigarettes and your songs. I saw you and your sisters smiling and laughing and singing along. And they all sang like this. I thought your life was black and white, but it's color now. Well, I thought your life was black and white, but it's color now. It's color now to me. Well, I saw you on your brother's farm. You're wearing rubber boots, lend a hand with the sheep. I saw you take your brother's arm and wipe your face on his sleeve. Well, here's a Sunday at Niagara Falls, just a picnic with the children out on the grass. How is it that after all the present turns to the past? I thought your life was black and white, but it's color now. Well, I thought your life was black and white, but it's color now. It's color now to me. Ba da 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 da. It's like a silent film, the sound gets left behind. I thought your love was black and white, but it's color now. I thought your love was black and white, but it's color now. It's color now to me. I saw you on a Super 8, living in the family history. I saw you on a color film and you look just like me. Ba da 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 da.
Thanks very much.